Is this reaching anybody? Where there is, I don't really know. You'd think I would have learned my lesson by now, but you'd be wrong. Not being on my game, not that I know even what my game would even look like if I were on it. I don't know that I'd be just hanging out in a fast food place right after I kill a CEO in the middle of Manhattan, but, you know, I guess to each his own. Where do you think that money is coming from? From ripping you off. I know the CEO here at the Hard Rock Lunchbox still makes about goose egg.
Hard Rock Lunchbox.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hard Rock Lunchbox. And if you're watching on YouTube, it is, of course, the top 20. How's everybody doing today? It is a very nice but very cold December 12th, 2024. We're almost there, people. We are almost there. And where there is, I don't really know. But there is definitely over there or out there somewhere getting ourselves to 2025, which sounds impressive because it's one of them quarter years. So who knows? Maybe it'll be a good year. Maybe it won't be a good year. I've given up trying to figure out which year is going to be good based on the Mayan calendar or anybody else's calendar. I really just don't know anymore. So I am just super, super tired. I am so fuzzy today, and not that there's anything wrong with fuzzy. I'm just a little groggy. So it's going to take me a minute to get up to speed. I had to go get blood work this morning, so I'm down at least a pint, which normally I would just fill with another pint, but I'm working, so I can't do that. Well, I mean, I can. I'm just not gonna. I had a pretty bananas week so far at work. We did a big migration that I've been working on for about 18 months at this point, and we finally had the go live date on Tuesday, and it just kicked my ass for a couple of days. A lot of things falling through the cracks. It's a massive system. So I mean, as percentages go, it probably wasn't that big of a deal, but it felt like a lot. It definitely feels like a lot when you wake up and it's like you got 10 Slacks, 10 team messages, a whole bunch of emails and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, it's not a good look, man. It's not a good look, not a good way to start the day. Today was a lot quieter, but I am definitely worn out from it, and I probably should have planned better. I mean, I always should plan better, but with the show coming up tomorrow and a bunch of other stuff going on next week, it's a bad time of year to be doing anything of any substance, and you'd think I would have learned my lesson by now, but you'd be wrong. So that's kind of where we're at. What did I want to say? Well, we might as well just get started with some light housekeeping. So the top 20, the new top 20 is out. It was back when Tony had hair and something stuck in my teeth. That's always good television. We talked about my Wafa hoodie that I really liked. Razorblade Diaries Turning Point. Talked way too much about that, turns out. It was like almost 25 minutes just talking about why it was important to redo the Razorblade Diaries. I will say that at rehearsal on Tuesday night, Noodle had suggested that we should re-record Wailo, and I did point out that the Reality Crush is going to be 10 years old next year, so we might do another live record. I don't know. I don't think so. But maybe at least we'll have a show. I will say we released the Reality Crush on Halloween in 2015, so maybe another Halloween show would be appropriate, and we could just do the record start to finish, or we could do both records or whatever. Plenty of time to figure it out, and that means plenty of time for me to procrastinate my way through it. Obviously, any fan of Revel 9, you've got a show tomorrow night at Whiskey Rocks in West Babylon. It's going to be us, Craving Strange, the Neon Skyline, and Mikey Wayman is going to do an unplugged performance to start the show. Lunacy Commission had to drop off the bill. I don't fully know what it was, but I was told it was fairly serious, so I just was as accommodating as I possibly could be there. Big as my podcast this week on Strangerhood TV. They have Finding Balance and Stepping Back Without Guilt with Bimp. Discussions and Drinks is Torch and Smoky Whiskey Tasting, taking victory laps, Vacuum Sealing Adventures, and 7 questions with cinematic vibes, so check that out. I don't think they've been doing a lot of interviews lately, so that probably is more of a rarity than anything else. So that's pretty much it for light housekeeping. Man, I'm just so groggy, so I'm going to apologize for that, not being on my game. Not that I know even what my game would even look like if I were on it, but here I am. So, big show tomorrow night. It's our last show of the year, which means this will be our lowest playing show, with I think the exception of COVID, although it might even be tied with the 2020 year, because we did have a lot early in the year there. But this is like the lowest performance schedule Revel 9 I think has ever had, which is just kind of bananas. And there's a lot to that, including my own motivation to do things, but also just the willingness of other people that, want to kind of do this. It's a little light, so a lot of it tends to fall to me. Like, as I mentioned earlier in the year, like, we're not being asked on a lot of shows, and when we are, it's great. Like, I appreciate it, but it's not as much as we used to. We haven't done any road shows. We did like one road show this year, but we tried to book like some others, but we can't find any partner bands that feel like doing it. I feel like everybody in the music scene is just playing way less, so they're just sort of not super open to like letting outsiders in, which is kind of silly, kind of ridiculous. And I could press it and start acting like a booking agent again, but I just don't feel like doing it. I'm too busy. I'm not super motivated to do it. There's no particular place I really want to go play again, with the exception of like Lucy's, which I liked. It was just incredibly difficult to book something up there or to get on an existing show, so we just haven't. But maybe 2025 will be different. I really need things to kind of lighten up in my outside life before I have more time to do that, because I've been more interested in just trying to write and record more music, and I just really haven't had the time or the energy to do it. And I think that is probably a more important thing. And even though I don't want to just drop back to being just a regular local band, not that there's anything wrong with it, like I do want to go back out and play regionally, sometimes the juice is just not worth the squeeze. So I haven't been really pressing that all that much. But we'll see. New Year's comes with new ideas and new opportunities, so I guess we will see what's going on. So that's kind of it for the whole music world and stuff. We did start getting some mixes back from our last batch recording. That was exciting. I'll keep you posted on that. I have no idea yet what the release schedule is going to be. If I had to guess, I would say the first release from the new material would be sometime in March. I'll probably coincide it with a show, so that's what you need to know there. There is another single off the live record that'll be out probably in February. We're just gotta kind of see, maybe late January. I just want to see how well Another Mistake does. It seems like it's kicking ass. It's coming up on 10,000 plays soon on Spotify, which is fantastic. It's over 2,000 plays on YouTube, which is also fantastic, because I did put a lot of time and effort into that. So it's nice to see that kind of succeed. It has been nice that people that have watched it and been like, oh my god, that's a really cool slice of like Revel 9's history, and that's exactly what it was going for. We had the video, we had the archives of it, and we've been playing that song for as long as I can remember. So it seemed like a really good depiction of how that song has traveled from the Razorblade Diaries to the Razorblade Diaries live. So I'm glad for everybody that has liked it and felt the need to communicate that to me, because I super appreciate that. So thanks on that. Other things going on in the world. I know Syria is going through some big stuff. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I know almost nothing about it, so I'm not going to comment on it until I do. The Health First, Health Pro, whatever CEO killer was caught in Pennsylvania at a McDonald's, which is kind of a baller move if you think about it. But like, I don't know that I'd be just hanging out in a fast food place right after I kill a CEO in the middle of Manhattan. But I guess to each his own. I do find it interesting, and I was saying this the other day, that the most fascinating thing about it to me was the amount of trolling going on the internet, because the police were asking people for help. And they were like helping identify the shooter and stuff like that. And the trolls of comments were just absolutely fantastic. They're like, oh, no, sorry, I can't help you. That's not covered in your plan. Or, oh, no, I couldn't get a new pair of glasses because insurance didn't cover that, so I can't help you there. Which is funny anyway, because it kind of is. But it's also a really big commentary on the state of healthcare. So, like, some dude was just gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Like, And he represents an industry and is part of a problem that is so systemic that people's immediate go-to reaction is effectively good. You know, that's what you get because you're just a horrible, horrible human being. And I would argue that it's not just CEOs of health insurance companies, even though their, you know, kind of default position is always to deny. I'm going through a little bit of that right now with my health insurance company, but like I am totally up for the task currently, so we'll see how that goes. But they were even doing the report about the CEO of Spotify. Like he's got like a $350 million paycheck or whatever this year, and for any artist to make that on Spotify was something like you have to do like 1 billion plays a year, which is more than Drake has in his entire catalog, which is bananas, right? Like the CEO that does absolutely nothing for this company makes more than the highest content creators on the channel. I mean, doesn't anybody but like find any? I mean, obviously all musicians find everything wrong with that, but like this is what we keep talking about, like the runaway power of corporate America and just how bad it is. And you know, there's so many people and so many states and stuff that are like so anti-labor unions and stuff like that because they're corrupt or whatever. And like my answer is like, even if they are the singular balance to corporate power and corporate abuses. I mean, they really are. I mean, we can enlist the help of people like Lena Khan and the FTC to sort of help us out, and she's doing a great job, but she is definitely going to be out under the Trump administration. So we're going to go back to having these corporate entities just do whatever they want. And doing whatever they want is just maximizing profits for the board and the CEOs and the shareholders and, you know, investors and venture capitalists and stuff like that. Like, it's just bananas. It's absolutely bananas that people are okay with that. There should be absolutely nobody on earth that is okay with somebody like Elon Musk having $500 billion or being a trillionaire or whatever the hell he is, because it's clearly a sign that if you are actually making that much money off of what you do, then you are charging too much money for that service. Like, does that not add up to people? Like, then you're ripping people off. Like, yeah, it's what the market should bear, and people are just so stupid they keep bearing it. Like, I don't understand why that doesn't make more sense to literally everybody. Like, if these major companies are making so much profit, then they're charging you too much money. Where do you think that money is coming from? From ripping you off, right? If the CEO of Spotify didn't have to make $350 million this year, and maybe they just divided $1 up to 350 million content creators, like I have no problem paying for, you know, your job, whatever you're doing. Like, I don't know what it takes to be the CEO of Spotify. I do know it's not all that much. It really isn't all that much. So if you needed to make $1 million a year, it still seems a little excessive. But let's just even do that. Like, that other $349 million should be going to the artists. Like, well, I'm not talking about the money that's going to Spotify as a corporation. Like, to pay people and maintain the infrastructure and the website and all the tech. Like, yeah, whatever that costs is what it costs. I'm talking about corporate greed and corporate profits and corporate salaries. Like, that's just a ridiculous amount of money. How many people do you know? Like, do you know well? And now, how much would each one of them need to make a year to total $350 million? I don't even know enough people. That's $1 million a year for 350 of your friends. Right? $2 million for 175 of your friends. Is this reaching anybody? Like, and this is all throughout corporate America. The CEOs of these companies are just making billions of dollars. It was a few decades ago where and I don't know what the state of this is now, but there was maybe a few decades ago where the CEO of Costco put a cap on his salary of $500,000 a year. It's not nothing, right? And yeah, he got like stock options and stuff like that. So I don't necessarily mind stock options because I feel like if the company's performing well and under your leadership, like, that's your bonus. You know what I mean? But like, to put a cap on was really kind of progressive and really smart. And one of the things I really like about Costco, and there's probably a couple other companies that do that. There's other companies like Bob's Red Mill that are all company owned. So, all employee owned. Like everybody that works there, like even the janitors to the line supervisors, they own a stake in the company. So like those profits go to them. Like that's a great idea. But those companies are not ripping you off for flour. You know what I mean? It seems like a decent, fairly run company. So there are a few of them out there, but like, you want to just Google yourself the top salaries of the highest salaries of CEOs in America. Like you'll throw up. Like it's just bananas. I know the CEO here at the Hard Rock Lunchbox still makes about goose egg, and it's because he believes in his product. Also, apparently he's got nothing better to do on Thursdays around noon. So. That's about that. So I am getting super, super tired. I did want to talk about a couple other things, including a lot of the pardons that Biden's about to issue. He's going to do like 1,500 like clemency pardons, a lot of which are people. A lot of it is COVID related and prisoner COVID related. I read it briefly while I was waiting for my lab work. I didn't fully understand it, so I was going to try and do some more work or reading on that and then tell you about it, but I didn't get a chance to, so maybe I'll be able to talk about it in the coming weeks. I do have a show note, and I will remind everybody listening again later. There is like a 99% chance that I will not be doing the Hard Rock Lunchbox next week. I have a doctor's appointment that I have to get to. It's far enough away, and it's going to run late enough that I just probably won't be back here on time. In fact, if I have the appointment, I definitely won't be back here on time. The only reason I'd be able to do the show is if that appointment gets rescheduled or moved or whatever for any reason. So I'll post if I'm going to do the show, but just kind of go under the understanding I'm probably not doing the show next week. I'm sorry for that, but I will absolutely be back the following week, which should be the 26th. Is that right? The 26th? Are we there yet? Yeah. So the day after Christmas. And then I will also be here on the 2nd of January, and we will be doing our big we'll be doing our box Song of the Year countdown, which is always fun. I'll have to calculate that out. So not expecting to be here next week on the 19th. Fully expecting to be here the 2 weeks after that, the 26th of December and the 2nd of January. So if you miss all that good music, don't worry. We'll just double it up. And that'll be that. All right, cool. Everybody happy with that? No? All right, cool. I realized I played Revel 9 stuff last week. I think I played it first because it was like another mistake. But I was just digging through the archives, and I'm going to play Revel 9 again just because I remember hearing this when we recorded it. But and it was never really a good version of the song, but there's something about it that makes me laugh because I did have a real fun time on that tour. This is probably one of the first times we were doing Wailo live, and it was during South by Southwest. On our way home, we stopped in Houston to play a show at Arcadia, which is sadly no longer there, has since closed down. But yeah, Houston, Texas, just a great, great rock town. I would love to go back if it wasn't so goddamn far away. But yeah, this is a live recording from that. So here's some live Wailo in the box.
They played the good fight. We actually were the first ones to release that song on Reach Down Radio, and we will be getting the new song from Revel 9 next week. There you go. Kick back and revel in some Revel 9.